Jerry, we have been missing you. So, seeker lives wisely. So you see what happens when we, as a seeker, you live wisely. You are already a seeker. That's why we are discussing that aspect. So, what to do when we experience the stress and suffering? When we experience the stress and suffering, we are already uh, a seeker, and the seeker lives wisely. So, what to do when we experience the stress and suffering? So, now see that in the process of becoming a seeker, do you experience the changes in your behavior, attitude, and action in daily life? But how to quantify it? If you quantify, that would be better. So yes, if you are a seeker, then the frequency and intensity of being upset, anxiety, reaction has dropped down. Did it happen in your life? Find out. If it happened in your life, obviously you are a seeker. The frequency, before and after. No category of the stress and suffering can go unnoticed from your conscious mind. Remembering the principle, the frequency and intensity drops down. It happens. And then what happens, the best part is the recovery period is extremely fast. You get upset, the next moment you become aware, you are a seeker. Seeker realizes it does not belong to me and it is gone. Is it happening in your life? If that is happening in your life, obviously, then we are, as a seeker, living wisely. Do you feel the arguments reduced substantially in your professional, in your family, in your social lives? Obviously, you are a seeker and seeker is living wisely. The last session that we covered, we discussed that we celebrate Thanksgiving and different occasions, birthday. We should continue to celebrate those events, but what is very important, this entire journey of the Eastern wisdom is to make your entire life a celebration at every moment, in every event, in every condition. We are celebrating our life, and it is all inside us. It is our real self that is of the nature of peace and happiness. So you see the opposite side. It means when the seeker is living wisely, we realize and experience that we need to drop, dissolve, and destroy what prevents this state of celebration all the time. And that is what it is a self-awareness program. If I say the first step of Eastern wisdom is a self-awareness program. And what is that self-awareness program? It is a discernment. The moment you are upset, the mind becomes aware and it separates being upset from you because the mind recognizes that our nature is not being upset, not reacting. Don't dream that it will happen in a day. It takes time. And that is why I use the word frequency, intensity, and recovery period. Frequency has dropped substantially. We used to get upset 10 times, now it is only one time. Intensity of that pressure, of reaction, of anger, of hesitation has gone down. And the recovery period is very fast. So if that happens in our life, obviously, we as a seeker are living wisely. So journey of this Eastern wisdom is walking on a razor's edge. One side we fall because I find an attachment. On the other side I fall, I find a detachment. So with that self-awareness program, we should have emotional freedom program. Where is that emotional freedom program? That is dispassion. First is discernment and second is dispassion. You see how we are going deeper into these two factors, discernment and dispassion. Because any movement in our life in terms of the thought, feeling, and past impression causes attachment or detachment. So after self-awareness program, we need emotional freedom program. So even if you don't like this gray beard, you are not interested. For example, so what happens in the emotional freedom program that we will take up later, but I just pick up one point. I create my own world. One example, you go to a store and you see you want to buy a diamond. So one person buy a diamond and you are happy, attachment. You want to buy the diamond, you cannot buy it, reaction. The third person is not at all interested in diamond. It is beyond attachment and detachment. Can I live into that state of self-awareness program, in that state of awareness? So from the self-awareness program, we move down to the emotional freedom program. Now see, the one who bought the diamond has an attachment, has a liking, so he created his own world of pleasure. Do you see that? In second person, he created his own world of stress. Diamond does not have a stress. Diamond doesn't give you a pleasure. But I create my own world. And the third person is not interested. So that not interested does not mean that my focus is on a diamond and I say I'm not interested. There is no attention there. So both the self-awareness program and emotional freedom program goes together. So then what happens? Now see what happens in your daily life. Absence of unfavorable circumstances. The mind is not looking outside. Mind is not looking outside for happiness, for peace. You recognize the sense of bondage, frequency is reduced, intensity is reduced, the recovery period is very fast. And you are able to maintain happiness. But why this happens? Because that real self is or has started working on the mind, on my behavior, on my attitude. We are talking about how a seeker lives wisely. So I have already covered the 5 factors Instead of getting upset or anxious or reacting in your daily life, you start thinking of what is the cause, the first factor, what is the effect of that cause. Take the same example of the diamond. Replace the diamond with your honey, with your relations, with your professional life, and you will find that no, I'm not interested in causing and creating an effect in this situation. I don't want to create my own world of anxiety and this suffering. So, those five factors, perhaps you may remember. The first one is no, it is the self awareness program. The first one, I must know the cause. The intellect is a higher faculty, it can explore the cause of our stress, anxiety, duality, conflict. After knowing that cause, I must know the effect. So, the very effect is due to the emotional bondage. There is no other reason. Then, how to progress? Check that you are relaxed and calm and you endure. So, what is the result? Result is absence of unfavorable circumstances. All these five factors, your intellect multiplies, your intellect understands it. What happens? You live in a higher level of awareness. What is that higher level of awareness? Mind is free from now emotions. Mind is free from the effect of the two persons, whether you get the diamond or you don't get it. It's free. On one side, there is an attachment, other side, there is a disliking, nothing. With a person, with an event, with a thing, and the life changes tremendously. You will find that every day you are full of energy, calmness, and peace. Emotional bondage or attachment and detachment drains our energy. This week, start working on self-awareness program and the emotional bondage and check that the frequency, intensity, and the recovery period has reduced in your life. Focus on again the five factors of the discernment. The first factor is the hetu. Hetu means the cause. I am conscious, so I am consciousness. And the consciousness cannot enter into any kind of anxiety, stress, and duality and a conflict. But what happens? Because of ignorance, my mind, deep inside, it says, no, you are body and mind complex. Then we relate it to the material world. Then we get attached. We like or dislike. I cannot be the part of, I cannot be the carbs, protein, that is the physical body and the mind. I am conscious, so I am consciousness, the first cause, first factor. The second is, what is the nature? What is the exact nature of the knowledge of Eastern wisdom? Real versus unreal, false versus truth. Instantly let your mind think of it. Your anxiety, you're angry, and the next moment you start thinking, oh, my nature is consciousness, and consciousness cannot become angry. It is between the real and unreal. You will find that you start living in a higher awareness. And what is the second factor is the very nature. Third is the effect. Effect has some cause. We explore it by contemplation and reflection. So, what is that effect? I find that when I see that I am the body, I am craving for something outside for the sake of pleasure. Pleasure is not present there, and it has caused me the anxiety. It has caused me the stress. It has caused me the reaction. It has caused me the duality and a conflict in my life. Are you getting it? I believe you get it. So now, seeker lives wisely. It means living wisely means I should contemplate and reflect. So first you handle yourself, then you handle the situation outside. And I will handle the situation outside first. Not possible. I'm already caught in that situation. Have you seen that sometime people, physical level, it's okay. And sometimes, neighbors are fighting and you enter there and one neighbor wants to slap other and you get the slapping. So don't do that. Physically, it's okay. But internally, I have to work on my mind, the effect. So what happens, what is most important thing of today's lesson, that you don't lose your relaxation and calm. You perceive every situation, people, place, and event in the state of the calmness. And the moment you see that, discernment and dispassion, they merge together. There is a sense of emotional freedom. You experience it. You have a sense of freedom. Only in that state, the transformation can take place. I've already given an answer why to follow that self awareness program. It helps us to discover what is right and good and what is not. Self awareness program helps us not to forget what is right and good in the presence of delusion and impurity of the mind. Self awareness shows us what wrong notions causes the suffering, and more it happens in your intellect. The mind is going to change. What does that change means? The mind will drop all the impurities. So what happens when the mind drops all the impurities? It is emotional freedom. So then what happens when we have an emotional freedom? We have a discernment, then the real self manifests in our thought, in our speech, in our action. Outside, outside in your conversation, you will definitely say, this is my house, this is my honey, he or she is my honey, this is what I have to do. But internally, there is an emotional freedom, a sense of total dispassion is there, where the consciousness shines. And that results into awakening. We are undergoing Seeker Lives Wisely, and then we will go, once we understand these subtle points, I want to pay a little more attention on the creation by the existence and the creation by us as an individual. Last time, I think I covered briefly. Existence created man and women. We created husband, wife, son, daughter, parents. See, existence created water, and this water cannot be changed anywhere. It is perfect creation. We created more than 2,000 drinks, and no drink is complete. Coca, Pepsi, soda, juice. Find out. Just look at it. Existence, creation is perfect. Our creation is imperfect. Don't you see that every 3 months, we have update in our smartphone and our computer? Update means what? Imperfect. It was not found before, now it has been found. Just check it. Understand that. We are not criticizing, we are not going against. But any creation by the human being, as an individual, as a scientist, as a family man, as a professional man, as a husband, as a wife, is imperfect. We recognize the imperfection will remove the impurity of the mind. You recognize whether it's a professional life, it's a social life, it's a family. This is all our creation. In any creation, we had done wonderful work during the last almost 300 years of scientific advancement in technology, in transportation, in communication. But do you see the perfection? So that is why we express that real self is absolute reality, existence is absolute reality, and whatever we create is a relative reality. And the relatives are bound to change. Their main factor is change. Real self, the main factor is unchanging, pure consciousness. We are pure consciousness. See that. Any creation. Third point is also very important here. Any creation by the individual has a duality, and that duality results into division, conflict, and confusion. Another point that is very important to just today, this week, or couple of days, you start. Does elephant create anything? But we can create. Does mosquito can create anything? No, we can create. Why? We can receive knowledge and we can act on it. Do you see that? No other living species except the human can create. See that. And now see. The next point blows my mind when my master told me that did we choose to be born as a human being? No. Did any living species choose to be born as? No. So now I'm a born human being. Is it not a gift of the existence? That I can use the knowledge, I can act on it. The way the existence can create, I can also create, even at a relative level. Are you getting it what I'm saying? No living species has a power of a knowledge, power to receive the knowledge and power to create. Tiger may be stronger than me, but I have a knowledge and I can act on it. Are you getting it? Are you appreciating that being born as a human individual is a gift from the existence. How we use that gift? I have a lot of stress and suffering in my honey, in my professional life. I have a lot of stress in my life. How long we continue to sing the song of stress, anxiety, duality, conflict, attachment. Can Tiger understands the emotional freedom? Tiger cannot change. I can change. So that I can change as an individual, being a human body, in the human body. Mind that is evolved only in the human body. Cows are still eating grass after thousands of years. we have maybe thousands of recipes. Do you see that? We have the power of that knowledge, self-awareness program. We have the power of emotional freedom. We can achieve that emotional freedom program, the dispassion we are not using. When we are not using, then we say, I have a lot of stress and suffering. Then you are responsible for my stress and suffering. The world is responsible. Biden is responsible. Or Trump is responsible. Whatever. Do you see that? So what happens when we are thinking and contemplating? It changes my perception totally. I use the mind and this human body that it is a gift from the existence. So hence let me use this human body and the mind to discover the ultimate and to discover the real self. When that commitment is there, when that awareness is there, we are a seeker and the seeker lives wisely. You undergo a tremendous change in the transformation. It is not 1 minute or 5 minutes of mindfulness. It is knowledge. That knowledge knowledge of that real self, knowledge of that existence changes the entire life. Our thought, our speech, our action, they all undergo changes. Don't forget frequency. Remember the second word, intensity. Third, recovery period. They all drops down. We may have an anxiety just today. Okay. But the frequency is very less and the intensity is very low, and you recognize because of discernment and dispassion, recovery period is fast. Here the anxiety comes and there it goes. Here the stress comes and there it goes. It dissolves and disappears. So I'm trying to give some milestones. So that person means that the seeker is living wisely. Close your eyes. Close your eyes, my friends. Position of the body. Position of the body. You are aware. And body is centered. Why the body is centered? The first point is the knowledge. Knowledge means experience and awareness. Very good? Yes. So, the body, you're not struggling with the body. Breath, mind, position. Struggle means we are not settled. Then we go a little deeper, being comfortable. You are settled in the comfort that belongs to the real self. My friends, if it belongs to the mind, there is no problem at all. We are using the mind all the time. So, in order to move the mind, to point the mind, what we do? We use the simple move the mind on the neck joint, be there, feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Frequency, intensity, and experience of being comfortable has increased. I told you, frequency, intensity, and recovery period is reduced in cases when we are having stress and anxiety and duality in a conflict. But if I say the frequency, instantly, the moment you hear the word comfortable, look at the shoulder joints, you are there, you start feeling a deepening of the sensation, comfort, and steadiness, my friends. The hip joint, I have explained it, I think, may have more than 50 different ways being comfortable. Even if you remember 5 or 10, you will find out that it is worth pursuing the path. Hip joint, it is matter. Okay, so matter and the consciousness goes together through the mind. So I feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. But sensation, comfort, and steadiness is more subtler. Subtler is mind. Oh, so I move the mind within by being comfortable? Yes. Being carefree. Thoughts are coming and going, feelings are there. It's a kind of an emotional freedom program. Any thought catches the attention of the mind has an element of attachment and detachment. I gave an example of a diamond and 3 people. So thoughts are coming and going. You're observing, you're watching. So those 3 persons are basically one mind. That mind has 3 different attitudes. You look as a person with an attitude of disliking, your expression will be different. With a liking, expression will be different. And casual, carefree. You see the person, but unaffected. Same thing with the thoughts in the mind. But why the mind gets attached or likes and dislikes, that is by default. Ignorance is since beginning. So you are carefree. And remember, every time, that will reduce your frequency, intensity, and recovery period. What is that point? Do you remember? Mantra. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. I told you 3 types of the mind. One mind craving, other mind repelling, third mind is just aware. That is indifference. So that nature of the mind will only change when we replace it with the mantra. So let everyone be in the state of the well-being, and then we go into the knowledge. Well-being is essential nature of every living species by default. Means the existence has expresses or existence expresses in the state of well-being. Mind, where are you going? Come back. Be there in the state of well-being. Are we not gifted, my friends, as a human being? Tiger cannot do, mosquito cannot do. No living species. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Let there be peace for all. Why? Peace is an essential nature of the existence, and that existence is real self in me, in every living species. With a penetrating eye or the perception, we find that the peace is our essential nature. Sarvesham. Peace is our essential nature. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Completeness, the wholeness. Whatever Master says, you think of that. It says that the existence has gifted us, the human body, with the mind to receive the knowledge, with a free intellect to work in our life to become the existence, to recognize that existence, and that is the wholeness. We talk a lot about holiness, wholeness, and release, and that is different. So here we save the sense of completeness manifest in the mind. Will you be attached to anything or detached? Will you react or will you be anxious? Answer is no. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Let there be auspiciousness for all. Knowledge plus peace plus well being plus wholeness is auspiciousness. What prevents the mind? Why it prevents? It gets attached or detached, likes or dislikes. Why it dislikes? Because of the duality. So, what works? The discernment, followed by the dispassion. Now, we have introduced an active step or the intensity. So focus inside the forehead in the space. Start dropping Om Shanti. You drop Om Shanti, then see the space. Drop Om Shanti. Again, you see the space. Om Shanti. But now, with that awareness of the steadiness in the body, start breathing quick and short breath from the chest only for 2 minutes. Mind will push you not to do it. You all are healthy. Disclaimer is still there. But continue doing quick and short breaths with both the nostrils. Every time you inhale, expand your ribs, and every time you exhale, contract the ribs. Om Shanti gently continues deep inside the forehead. Only the rib cage moves up and down, the rest of the body remains steady. Continue. Only into the chest with Om Shanti continues. And stop it, do nothing. When we do these kind of breathing, what happens? The prana, the energy, is released from the emotional mind. So, what is the nature of the any energy or a heat? It starts moving upward. So, the Kundalini meditation has been discovered. This energy moves upward if it becomes free from the mind. What do you mean by free from the mind? From survival, from fear, from desire, from craving. And that takes a long time, 20, 30 years. So you are continuing with Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Om Shanti, body remains steady. And now we will start breathing from the belly. It's a longer breath. You inhale, the belly goes out. You exhale, the belly goes in. It's a very effective also for, I should not talk, but I'm talking. It's good for diabetes It's good for asthma. It's good for constipation and indigestion too. Your belly squeezes and expands. Om Shanti continues. You're separating the mind from the energy, from the body, with awareness, and that goes a long way. It will give you enough power being a seeker to change. Continue. It's a little longer and the faster breath. It's a deeper also. Means your inhalation quantity is more than the chest breathe. And stop this. Stop the breathing, but continue with the Om Shanti. You will discover that you have more sensations in and around the head, in the top of the head, sometime in the spine. They indicate only an upsurge of the prana moving upward, released from the mind. But what happens? Any new experience? Mind wants to react. But we all are a seeker. So we accept it, we recognize, we appreciate. We don't get upset, we don't react. There are more beautiful experiences to come. Now keep on doing Om Shanti. This time we are doing the breathing both from the belly and the chest. It's a very long and the hissing breath. Check. You inhale first into the belly and then into the rib cage. You exhale from the belly and the rib cage. It demands little training to the body through the conscious mind. That's all. But it has a very powerful impact on the body, on the mind. As compared to previous two types of breathing, it is the longer one, deeper one. The mind will say stop this, but mind says stop it, emotional bondage. Mind supports you, freedom, and stop it, do nothing. Keep on doing Om Shanti, allow the breath to be normal. In that state of deepening of the sensation, tingling, or numbness, or heat and the cold. There are many variety of experiences. We don't want to generate another experience. We want to know real self. On the path, these experiences are bound to come and go. Now start breathing deep, silent, and slow. Why I say deep, silent, and slow? It is totally silent. It helps you to raise your mental awareness. We're going into self-awareness program. Means you are breathing dead slow. As you inhale, the mind moves from the crown of the head into the spine, reaches to the tailbone, but this time you are singing Om Shanti. Shanti stops at the tailbone during inhalation. And during exhalation, the mind rises with the singing Om Shanti. You reach to the tail, you reach to the crown of the head. I just want to say that your point of awareness and attention. Shanti during inhalation touches the tailbone. Shanti during exhalation touches the crown of the head. So we are a seeker, and seeker we are living wisely. So there is no issue, there is no danger. So those people who do kundalini and without cleaning the mind, yes, there are many dangers. How come? We have a craving in the mind. We are doing this kind of breathing, and the energy is already released, and a thought of a craving comes. That craving sucks the entire energy and it creates a hallucination. It is not the case here. And leave this deeper breathing also. Look at the triangle inside the heart, pointing upward, and move your mind slowly. On each side of a triangle, dropping Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, clockwise and anti-clockwise. When you discover the mind is totally absorbed in moving on a triangle, dropping Om Shanti, slowly you move to the center of a triangle and pushing the mind deep inside. As if the mind seems to stop very deep inside in the cave of the heart. You drop Shanti, conscious self-absorption. That very I, which is a doer, melts. Well, if the mind returns to any thought, same thing. Everything is going on in the world outside, maybe a noise, the temperature, the tingling and the numbness, but still you find a kind of a deep silence deep within you. The silence in meditation is not the silence forced outside. How can you force the silence onto the existence? And out of the silence comes the awakening. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms, know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences. Look at the Terry leaning towards the pond and still is able to maintain the balance. Yes, Terry, how are you?
It was dark, quiet, and very fast.
Very fast. We spent the same time.
Huh.
You're hanging towards the pond.
Yeah, I'm leaning on the air.
That's wonderful. Wonderful. How are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you. Glad to be back in the
Yeah.
room. Um, it was the preamble made me realize how what a gift we have as human beings um, versus any other living thing, and we owe it to ourselves to take advantage of that. And the meditation, I just like I don't. It was just got extremely deep towards the end, and it was just blank nothingness, peaceful, nothing, just blank. It's beautiful. Thank you.
Beautiful, David. Beautiful. You see, the more we realize, you just contemplate and think. A mosquito sitting here, we just kill it. So it's a mosquito body. That's why we say it's a mosquito. So mosquito body, mind is already imprisoned. It cannot. It does not have any freedom. Human body, mind is free. We have a free will, free intellect. No, no, I'm suffering from stress. You don't understand. I carry the burden of the stress on my shoulder. No, that should never be within the human life. But we carry forward. That is what our masters are teaching. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good. Namaste. I did miss everybody in the group, so thank you. The meditation was wonderful, deep, quiet, and during the last couple weeks, I clearly we were able to use the gift and help our loved ones and set up things and not feel overwhelmed. And sometimes things don't go as planned, and we still have to just do the best we can and use our gifts. So, and I felt like we clearly lived wisely and did that. So thank you, because this process
Wonderful,
helped.
wonderful. Living wisely. Sometimes the things cannot go the way we want. So we should think in a way that, okay, mind, I want to know what existence is expecting from me. Just think that. Existence, what do you expect from me? So follow the way of the existence and you found the solution. Beautiful. How are you? Welcome back. So how are you, Sam?
I'm good. Describe it how Terry described it. It was dark, quiet, and it seemed fast.
Seems fast, yeah. Relaxed and calm. Think of this. What David was saying, the human body gift. The rest are nothing. Rest are the details. How are you, Brandy?
I'm good, thank you. I focused also on the gift and giftedness, but also power, the power that we have. And I had the opportunity to exercise that because there's somebody literally hammering metal outside my window. So I was able to find the quietness and the stillness while there's like construction right outside the window. And it was that awareness of the power of using our mind and our senses to either go out the window or inside.
Beautiful. That's a beautiful example that anything and everything is happening outside. It is happening in the existence. The mind says, I'm attached, you have a problem. Mind says, I'm detached, you have a problem. Three people in the diamond. So these three options are present in the mind. The free intellect chooses the right knowledge and you move further. How are you, Samir?
Sir, it was very peaceful. And in the daytime also, I have been experiencing that I call someone to tell something, and till the till the bell is ringing. After that, my mind changes totally, and I don't react. I don't fight with him. The words I choose are very different, which I speak. So within a few seconds time, there is means I realize that I should not react quickly. I should not say something wrong. I should talk politely.
That's a wonderful change. You see that in the modern world, modern education system teaches us how to do the marketing, how to be soft. But there is no inner softness. So I created softness because of doing a business. Do you see what I mean? Do you understand? So here the frequency and rightly said frequency, what is that? Intensity in the recovery period is reduced. The moment someone rings and okay, someone calls me, so I move mind to the state of the calmness, to the peace, and to see how even the business can be done. Beautiful. How are you, Anastasia?
Thank you. I'm very good. It was deep, and recently I've been feeling a lot of sleepiness. I don't know why, but after some realization, after understanding my child trauma, I want to sleep a lot of, and it was a little bit hard during meditation because I thought that I fall out, like I can fall asleep, but I didn't. And for me, this meditation seemed to be so long, like 2 hours.
Yeah.
This period with mantra, it looked like an hour.
Okay. You see the mind again. That's why I gave that metaphor: three people and the diamond. Three people. So three states of the mind, three thoughts in the mind. They all are going in a different direction. So the one who is attached says, "Oh, it has been so long. It has been so long because I want to get free. I want to leave it. Why I want to leave it? Because I want to fall into sleep. Sleep is means what? Fall into unconscious, but don't leave it. Continue doing it. And the life has to change. And how are you, Vaibhav?
So again, it was deep, it was peaceful, mind was totally calm, relaxed.
Very good. Calm and relaxed. So now check every time. We should all check that during the day, interacting with the people, finding a different situation. Is the frequency, Sam, is the frequency, what is the, intensity, and the recovery period is fast. If it is fast, we are living wisely. Chair is still hanging. That is all for today. That is all. Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, sir. Namaste.